Realize the best angle to show you how to pretty much bolt the CV2 cover once we get it flushed and everything is just to make sure that we get from the top view. Again, you can see here all the holes are in alignment, the gaskets are out. So we're going to go and start with our first one. There we go. We're going to blow any debris out. We just pulled it out from here. There we go, it's going in. We're not putting any blue Loctite because these are common opening areas that we need to actually get into and inspect the belt, perhaps even change the belt. Even though we'll put Loctite just to make sure we secure our clutch and our variator. That's for engine undamaged component. We can't get around that one. As well as our kickstand, Kickstarter stand holder pin spring. We still need to make sure that we can get access to our cover easily. Without breaking any Loctite debris. So there we go. This is our fourth one and our last fifth one on the top. You can see it's so much easier here having gravity help us. Everything just kind of flows in. This one can be a little bit more down in for some reason. The washer here. See, it's straight hole in there, so it just probably needs a little twisting. Once we put our socket in there, it'll probably go in further in. There you go, it went in. There we go. Now it's sitting resting perfectly. Okay, but now we're starting from our right to left, going down. Again, want to make sure we take out any cardboard debris. We don't want to blow it back into our cover, so you might just want to blow it to the side or something. There we go. I figure if you see all this, you'll be able to remember pretty much in detail what bolts they are. So, all right, last one, and then we're gonna go and torque it down to 5 foot-pounds. Again, because these studs are actually 6mm, even though it takes an 8mm drive for his head. There we go, we got that there. Now let's go ahead and change and put back our long extension on our, I love this torque wrench made by Husky. I think it's a little bit much better than the Harbor Freight one. Even though the Harbor Freight one was 1/4 the price. There's a saying though, you do get what you pay for. I figured, you know, you want to invest good on the torque wrench because that's your last, pretty much cheap insurance to make sure that it's torqued to spec. So this is already set. Again, just double check. Yep, it's set to about 50, or I'm sorry, 60 inch-pounds, which is equivalent to 5 foot-pounds. So we're just, first of all, we're screwing it in, and then we're about to torque it. Just try and screw it in much as you can by hand. Looks like it's going ways. Kind of nice to get this closed up. It feels a little bit better. The more it's like having an open heart surgery. The longer you have the chest open, the more debris and stuff might can get in there and cause some, you know, not damage much, but just mildew and you could say like infection, huh? It starts building up and clogging other areas we don't want it to. So that's why these gaskets are a lifesaver. They pretty much protect the dust. Some people keep them open for show cases, but I think when they actually stop the show, they probably, for daily driving, I wouldn't recommend it. It wouldn't last long. Definitely want to put like a real cover on there with a filter and everything. Keep the debris from out, because again, this is going to be in your lower engine part where it catches everything from the bottom of all the dirt and grime. So there we go. Actually a little easier just to do it without the torque for now, until we get this all hand tightened down. Cool, there we go. Again, also on the piston's head, I called the manufacturer to see what happened about the indication of where the arrow should point for the pistons, and they said it actually points down to the exhaust. So the EX definitely was exhaust. I kind of second guessed it myself because I didn't think aesthetically it looked really great, because when you do point the exhaust to the bottom, it pretty much turned the piston and the 63 millimeter engraved upside down, which that's necessary. It has to be that way, I guess. So when we set it up, we're going to install it that way because we don't want to damage the engine. Okay, we're working to the lower one now. Coming along quite nicely. There we go. Yeah, that drain bolt sure looks pretty nice. Sort of like a titanium fired color there. It's gonna do its job. Okay. All right, there we go. Then we can go and bring our torque wrench. Oh yeah, it's already preset, ready to go. Maybe we can do this way first, do this pattern. There we go, and then we're gonna go and tighten this one as well. You see I'm kind of crisscrossing. I'm going from the center to the crisscross corners. There we go. All right, this one here. Here, I kind of remember where I'm at. Okay. All right, then we can just go roll through it. Just make sure that it's been torqued. Hear that click? Oh. It will actually torque further, so I wouldn't recommend it. Once you hear a click, if you hear a couple times, that's a warning right there to let go. Your torque has reached its max. That's fine. We can even try and make sure that this one gets torque if it hasn't. But it has, so. Awesome. We got it there now. Now it's time to go ahead and start sanding down. Well, let's go and put the kickstand on as well. Kickstarts. I have to say the key word, kickstart, not just a kickstand. Kickstand just holds the bike down. The kickstart, you kick it for a reason to jumpstart the bike if the battery was dead. Okay, we want to make sure we don't want it too inclined, so probably cover it up to here. It's perfect. So that way, when we push it down, it doesn't hit. This cover right here will be barricaded a little bit by some of the housing of the bike. So if we put it too up, we can't reach our feet inside the cover. So it has to be a certain position. So I recommend just putting it like right there. And keep this flush up a little bit. You can see here how flush it is. There we go. You want it to be able to come, rub your finger and feel it, but not much, just feel a little bit. By the way, your finger is your best source for feeling every imperfection, because it'll feel things where you cannot normally see it. Okay, because the eye can sometimes trick you. Okay, so there we go, I can feel it now, even though it looked like it was flush. There we go, this is pretty much, again, because this right here retracts back and up and down, so you don't want to put flushing against the case itself. It won't have room to retract. There we go. So again, we're going to go and tighten this down to about 5 foot-pounds, since it's the same 8 millimeter stud with a 6 millimeter thread. Oh, it's actually now starting to slide down. I didn't catch that yet, so let me go ahead and correct that real quick. Put this back in reverse. Kind of tricked us. Might have to actually even hold it. There we go. Gonna take this off here first, making sure that this looks, you can feel it. See from the bottom there how much it actually sticks out. This will be perfect. I'm just gonna put one finger here to prevent it from going down that more than it needs to be. I'm gonna go in there. Take my torque wrench again and give it a good tighten, supporting the bottom here so it won't slip down further. See, I can feel it once it goes to the bottom. Okay, hold it down, tighten it. Once we get it tightened, we don't have to hold it down anymore. It's just that initial crank. Looks like it wants to spin to the bottom. There we go. You hear it click? That's the second click there. That's a good indication that it's tight. And there we go. We have it through that certain angle there. So that's where we want it. Looks good. Okay, so now we're going to go back and let's go and prep it, ready to fix our... Actually, you know what? I think it goes a little bit higher. Probably be better. You can see here. I try to want to raise this up to meet this line right here. This little pattern thing. So let me go and redo this real quick here. And loosen it back. Probably just move it one notch, one groove really. See, there's a groove teeth, and that's what's... Okay, let's go ahead and move it one groove up. We don't have to worry about our CVT cover. There, that one's actually too high. Actually, you know what? It was perfect there. I believe that groove will not let us move other than this high, which is way overboard. Now we're in trouble. We won't be able to get our feet in the housing. So we had it right the first time. So never mind. Sometimes you just gotta do it just to see. I think it's that way because I can't really go to sleep thinking, oh man, should I move it up more or could I? So I want to make sure we feel good about where we're resuscitating it at. Okay. Even though I'm on camera doing this, I don't mind sharing with you my indecisiveness sometimes. Try and make decisions because I think we're all human. We're entitled to it. And this video here, it's a courtesy so you guys can see how we install things. So I figured just sharing my time. But I appreciate your time as well watching it. Okay, here we go. There we go. I'm holding one finger here, not letting it spin anywhere. Okay, we'll wait for that clicking noise. Almost. There we go. That's it. That was the third one actually. Alright, so that's it. It's not going anywhere. What makes it bite is the teeth itself. It's not going to slip off. Okay, now we're ready to flip around and actually work on the more critical part of it. Where they're all critical, but this one's the most critical. It's like a cancer. It'll keep spreading. So let's go and set this on our working bench again and get started. We won't need this other transmission drain bolt anymore. Now we put the sort of a gold color there. Put that in there. It's always a good idea to also get one of these little bins here to sort out all your screws and bolts. That way, for all the accessories of your housing, covers, and everything else in between, you have them all sorted out for your long area, your spark plug, your extra studs if you have it, your wrench. See, you also have your pretty much your plastic screw bolts, which are more sharper in, and then you have your metal bolts, or aluminum, which is more like flat flush, and then the threads are different. Your washers for some of your plastic housing or aluminum housing that goes onto plastic. See, and then you also got your little pinch pins for your plastic. So it's all there. It's very neat, and you just put it all in this one box, and that should probably hold at least for one complete bike set that we did here. So now we're gonna go ahead and set the camera here. That way you can see me pretty much sand down and prepare the JB weld to pretty much use to repair a GY6 crankcase using JB weld. There we go. Here we go. Gotta lift this back on. We're kind of trying to put it back in his belly, really. But we'll see. Let's see if it can actually sit like this. No, it can't, unless we have something to hold it a little bit. There we go. All right, we can do this. This is a good angle here. Okay, you can see here. We're going to be sanding this area down where it cracked at. And from the top, you can't really see it. But from the bottom right here, you can. See that right there? First of all, we're going to put a little indent here. Prevent the crack from going any further. You can see that now that I'm covering the sun a little bit. You can see how bad that could be. And this is actually one of your transmission bearings. I believe this is the transmission bearing that's being pressured pretty much by your clutch. The clutch is not putting any more pressure on it because it's actually being locked in from this other end. But you can see there how it would be. So this side, it's almost moving along, almost actually good 70%. So it goes all the way up here. Yeah, it's almost a full head on. So we want to make sure we get that screwed in a little bit right now. So we're going to take a drill bit and we're going to start drilling that area there. Prevent it from going any further. I want to make sure you can see it. Okay, so there we go. That is our first line of defense here to drill the hole to put the stop where the crack shouldn't go any further. So I'm going to get a drill bit. I'm going to get a drill. Here we go. This is our drill bit here that we're going to use. Okay, here it is. This is a drill bit here we're going to use. A very small one. You can see from my finger how small it is. It's not that small, but small enough for us to make a little hole indent before we start sanding it down. Don't get drill. Careful, this is aluminum. We're not going to try to drill it all the way to the other side. What we're going to do is try to drill it enough for it not to so far JB weld to get into that crack area as well and make a mold on there as well. So here we go. Then we're going to sand off all this metallic, I believe it's a coating. Okay, here we go. See, there we go. Gonna kind of put a little indent there. Yeah, it looks like it's coming all the way up to here almost.